The first light of dawn barely pierced through the towering maze of skyscrapers in the bustling city, casting a feeble, ghostly glow under the cold, unforgiving bridge where Mary lay wrapped in a threadbare blanket. The low, constant anthem of early morning traffic served as her unwelcome alarm clock, dragging her from the tenuous grasp of sleep. With a heavy sigh, she pushed herself up, her muscles stiff and aching from yet another night on the unyielding concrete. If you are not subscribed, I recommend you subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any videos. Mary, now in the twilight of her 50s, carried within her a soul weathered and scarred by the relentless storms of life. Once, in a distant past that now felt like a fading dream, she had known the warmth of a loving home, a family that filled her days with joy and her nights with tender affection. Those were the golden years, brimming with laughter, love, and a profound sense of belonging. But life, in its often cruel and unforgiving way, had ripped that happiness from her grasp. Her husband, the man who had once vowed to stand by her side through thick and thin, had abandoned her without warning, leaving her to navigate a world that seemed increasingly cold and indifferent. With nothing left but a few tattered remnants of her former life, a frayed backpack, and a threadbare coat that barely clung to her body, Mary forced herself to rise from the hard ground, stretching her aching, stiffened limbs. The gnawing emptiness in her stomach was a constant, painful reminder of her desperate hunger, driving her forward in her search for sustenance. Determined not to succumb to despair, she set her gaze on the wealthier part of the city, where she clung to the fragile hope of finding discarded scraps of food in the trash bins. As she trudged through the city's crowded streets, the glaring contrast between her reality and the lives of those around her became impossible to ignore. Towering buildings, their glass surfaces sparkling in the sunlight, stood as silent witnesses to her suffering, while manicured lawns and opulent residences seemed to mock her bedraggled appearance and shattered dreams. The air around her was thick with the intoxicating scents of freshly brewed coffee and pastries, each whiff a cruel reminder of the simple pleasures she could no longer afford. Her journey led her into a neighborhood where the houses were nothing short of palatial, reminiscent of a time when such grandeur might have been within her reach. With a heart pounding from a mix of anxiety and determination, she approached a large trash bin outside one of these extravagant homes, her hands trembling as she began her search. Please let there be something. Anything, she whispered to herself, her voice cracking under the weight of her desperation. As she sifted through the discarded waste, her mind drifted back to the happier times, memories of shared meals, the sound of laughter echoing through the rooms, and the comforting embrace of those she loved. These fleeting thoughts of her former life, once filled with warmth and security, now served as a fragile lifeline, keeping her tethered to a world that seemed intent on pushing her to the brink. As the morning sun climbed higher in the sky, bathing the city in its golden light, her efforts finally yielded a small reward: a half-eaten sandwich and a bruised apple. It wasn't much, but in her world, it was a precious gift, a glimmer of hope in an otherwise bleak existence. She quickly tucked the food into her bag, knowing it would be enough to keep her going, at least for one more day. Just as she was about to leave, her attention was caught by the sight of a man emerging from a nearby mansion. He was dressed impeccably in a finely tailored suit, exuding an air of effortless confidence and privilege. Mary instinctively ducked behind the bin, her heart racing as she watched him with a mix of curiosity and trepidation. The man walked to the curb with a large, black trash bag in hand, his expression one of utter indifference as he discarded it without a second thought. Once he had disappeared back into his opulent home, Mary cautiously approached the bag, driven by a mix of desperation and hope. What secrets did it hold? Would it contain the sustenance she so desperately needed, or would it be yet another cruel reminder of the vast chasm that now separated her from the life she once knew? Her trembling hands reached out, her heart filled with a quiet, fervent prayer for a miracle amidst the refuse. Something about the bag felt wrong, unnervingly heavy for ordinary household refuse. As her heart hammered in her chest, Mary hesitated only for a moment before dragging the bag out and peeling it open. What she saw inside made her blood run cold. Children's clothing, soaked in dark, drying blood, and broken toys scattered among the fabric. A wave of nausea washed over her as the gravity of what she had uncovered began to sink in. Her mind spiraled into a dark abyss of horrifying possibilities. Mary's breath quickened, her chest tightening as she glanced around, paranoid that someone might have seen her. The sight of the blood-stained clothes etched itself into her memory, a grotesque image she couldn't shake. The world around her seemed to blur as dread settled in the pit of her stomach. Hastily, she closed the bag, shoving it back into the bin as if that could erase what she had just discovered. But the question swirled in her mind, relentless and terrifying. What had happened? Who had done this? And most disturbingly, where was the child who had worn those clothes? Panic and fear wrestled with a growing sense of responsibility. Could she go to the police? Would they even take her seriously, a homeless woman with nothing but the clothes on her back and a story that seemed too gruesome to be true? She could already imagine the skepticism in their eyes, the dismissive tone in their voices. Yet, despite her fear, a fierce resolve began to build within her. She couldn't turn away from this. The possibility that a child was in danger was too unbearable to ignore. Taking a deep, steadying breath, Mary knew what she had to do. She couldn't walk away, not when an innocent life could be at stake. She turned from the bin, her thoughts racing as she started back toward the bridge, where she often sought shelter. A plan was already beginning to form in her mind, but she knew she would need help, resources she didn't currently possess. First, she needed to blend in, to look like someone who could gain access to the mansion where the bag had come from. That meant finding clothes that would make her appear more presentable, more credible. Determination steeled her steps as she navigated the bustling streets, the image of the bloodied clothes burning behind her eyes. Her mind whirled with the grim task ahead, but she knew she couldn't face it alone. She had to look the part if she was going to get close enough to find answers. It wasn't just about her anymore, it was about the potential danger that loomed over an innocent life. Mary soon arrived at a familiar, worn-down second-hand clothing store she had visited a few times in the past. The scent of old fabric greeted her as she pushed open the creaky door, the air thick with the musty aroma of garments that had long lost their newness. Racks of clothes from various decades crowded the small space, offering a strange sense of comfort amidst her turmoil. Behind the counter stood Linda, the store's owner, a woman in her late 40s with sharp eyes but a soft heart. Linda was known for her skepticism, but she also had a kind streak that often surfaced when it was least expected. "Mary, you're here early," Linda remarked, her voice tinged with surprise as she looked up from sorting through a pile of clothes. Her brow furrowed slightly as she took in Mary's agitated demeanor. "I need some decent clothes," Mary said, trying to keep her voice steady despite the urgency she felt clawing at her insides. "Something that'll make me look presentable." Linda studied her for a moment, her expression unreadable. "What's going on, Mary? You seem different today." Mary hesitated, her mind racing with how much to reveal. "I just need some help, Linda. It's important. I need to look like I belong in one of those big houses up the hill. Can you help me with that?" The words hung in the air, and for a moment, Mary wasn't sure how Linda would respond. But there was something in her eyes, a flicker of understanding or perhaps curiosity that gave Mary hope. Linda sighed and nodded. "All right, let's see what we can find. But you'd better tell me what's really going on when you're ready. You know I'm not one for games." Mary nodded, grateful for Linda's reluctant agreement. She would explain everything eventually, but first, she needed to prepare for what lay ahead. As they began sifting through the racks together, Mary couldn't help but feel that she was stepping into something far bigger and far darker than she had ever anticipated. But she knew one thing for certain: she couldn't back down now. Not when so much was at stake. Linda's eyes narrowed with suspicion. "What's going on, Mary? You've never been one to worry about appearances before." Mary hesitated, feeling the weight of the truth she couldn't share. She forced a small smile and crafted a lie that she hoped would sound believable. "I've got a job interview, Linda. It's nothing fancy, but I need to look the part." Linda's gaze softened, though a trace of doubt lingered. After a moment, she sighed and gestured toward a rack filled with clothes. "Go on, take what you need. Just make sure you're all right." A surge of gratitude washed over Mary as she began sifting through the clothes, her hands trembling slightly with the weight of the task ahead. She found a simple but clean dress that, while plain, carried an air of respectability. A pair of shoes, scuffed but serviceable, completed the ensemble. Turning to Linda, she held up the items. "Thank you, Linda. I'll find a way to pay you back, I promise." Linda waved her off, her stern demeanor melting into something gentler. "Just take care of yourself, Mary. That's all the payment I need." Mary nodded, her throat tight with emotion. She left the store, clutching the clothes close to her chest, her mind already racing ahead to the next steps. She needed to change her appearance, to transform herself into someone who could blend into the world she was about to infiltrate. Finding a public restroom nearby, she quickly changed into the new outfit. As she looked at herself in the mirror, the reflection startled her. A woman she barely recognized stared back. The clean dress and neatly combed hair brought back echoes of the life she once knew, a life far removed from the harsh reality she now faced. But there was no time for nostalgia. Mary's next destination was a small hardware store. She needed a few essential supplies to aid her in the dangerous task ahead. With careful deliberation, she picked out a flashlight, a small screwdriver, and a length of rope. Simple tools, but potentially life-saving in the situation she was walking into. The last of her meager savings disappeared into the cashier's hands as she paid for the items, her resolve hardening with each passing moment. Once outside, Mary found a secluded bench and sat down, her mind racing as she tried to steady her nerves. The enormity of what she was about to do gnawed at her, threatening to overwhelm her with fear. But she couldn't back down now, not when she was so close to uncovering the truth. Memories of her past, the injustices that had shaped her, and the fierce resilience that had carried her through all these years filled her with a renewed sense of purpose. "This is for the children," she whispered, her voice firm as she steeled herself for what was to come. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the city in shadows, Mary rose to her feet and made her way back to the affluent neighborhood. The mansions loomed ahead like silent sentinels, their grandeur a jarring contrast to her humble appearance. But she walked with determination, her heart set on the mansion she had scouted earlier. Dusk provided the cover she needed as she approached the side entrance she had used before. She paused, taking a deep breath to calm her racing heart. The stakes were impossibly high, but the thought of turning back never crossed her mind. She had come too far, and there was too much at risk. "I'm coming for you," she murmured under her breath, thinking of the children who might be in danger, her resolve like steel. As she neared the entrance, her eyes caught sight of a young woman in her 20s, stepping out with a trash bag in hand. The woman, dressed in a uniform that marked her as part of the household staff, was oblivious to Mary's presence. Mary's heart skipped a beat. This was her chance. She squared her shoulders and approached the woman with as much calm as she could muster. "Hi there," Mary called softly, her voice carrying a steadiness that belied the turmoil within. The young woman, startled, turned to face her. "Oh, hello, can I help you?" Mary quickly composed herself, drawing on every ounce of courage she possessed. "Yes, I hope you can. My name is Mary, and I found something earlier that I think someone here needs to know about. It's very important," she said, her tone urgent and sincere. The woman's face creased with concern as she absorbed Mary's words. "What did you find?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity and worry. Mary hesitated for only a heartbeat before responding, her eyes locking onto the woman's. "It's not something I can explain out here, but please believe me when I say it's something that needs to be addressed. Can you help me speak to someone in charge?" The gravity of Mary's words seemed to settle over the young woman, her expression shifting from curiosity to a more serious, guarded look. "I can try, but you need to tell me what this is about. If it's really as important as you say, I'll make sure the right people hear about it." Mary took a deep breath, knowing that this was a critical moment. "It's about the children," she said, her voice barely above a whisper, laced with both fear and determination. "Please, I just need a chance to explain. I think they might be in danger." The young woman's eyes widened slightly, her grip on the trash bag tightening. After a tense moment, she nodded. "All right, come with me. But be careful what you say, and who you say it to," she warned, glancing around to ensure they weren't being overheard. Mary followed her, her heart pounding with the knowledge that she was about to step deeper into a world of unknown dangers. But she knew one thing for certain: no matter what lay ahead, she couldn't turn back now. Mary's eyes darted around, ensuring they were truly alone before she spoke. "I found some children's clothes in the trash bin outside this mansion. They were covered in blood, Alice. I don't know what's going on, but something is seriously wrong here. I'm really worried." Alice's face drained of color, and she glanced around anxiously, lowering her voice to a near whisper. "You can't just go around saying things like that. It's dangerous, really dangerous." "I know," Mary replied, her voice trembling with the weight of her discovery. "But I can't just walk away from this. Please, Alice, can you help me? Do you know anything about what's happening in this house?" Alice hesitated, her eyes flicking nervously back to the imposing mansion behind them. "I don't know much, but there have been whispers, rumors. Strange things happen at night, and sometimes I hear children crying. I didn't want to believe it, but now I'm scared." Mary reached out and gently placed a hand on Alice's arm, trying to convey strength and reassurance. "We have to do something, Alice. I can't do this alone. If you could just get me inside, or help me find out more, we might be able to stop whatever's going on." Alice bit her lip, clearly torn between her fear and a burgeoning sense of responsibility. Finally, she gave a hesitant nod. "All right, I'll help you. But we need to be careful, very careful. Meet me back here at midnight. I'll find a way to get you in." Relief washed over Mary, a glimmer of hope in the midst of her fear. "Thank you, Alice. I promise we'll get to the bottom of this." As the hours crept by, Mary steeled herself for what lay ahead. She found a secluded spot near the mansion to wait, her mind racing with strategies and backup plans. The fear gnawed at her, but she pushed it aside, focusing instead on the task at hand. When midnight finally came, Alice appeared at the side entrance, her face pale but resolute. "Follow me," Alice whispered, opening the door just wide enough for Mary to slip through. Mary's heart pounded in her chest as she stepped inside the mansion, the lavish interior a stark contrast to the harsh realities of her life. The opulence around her felt almost suffocating, but she moved forward with determination, following Alice through the darkened corridors with silent steps. "There's a room in the basement," Alice whispered, her voice barely audible in the stillness. "I've never been inside, but I've seen people going in and out at strange hours. I think that's where we should start." Mary nodded, her resolve hardening with every word. "Lead the way." They descended a narrow staircase, the temperature dropping with each step, the air growing thicker, more foreboding. At the bottom they found a heavy door, slightly ajar, an ominous light seeping through the crack. Mary took a deep breath, her pulse quickening as she pushed the door open, revealing a dimly lit room lined with shelves. Toys and children's clothes filled the shelves, a chilling sight in the eerie silence. But it was the large wooden crate in the center of the room that drew Mary's attention. Her heart pounded in her ears as she approached the crate, her mind racing with dreadful possibilities. She exchanged a tense glance with Alice, who nodded, her face ashen. Together, they lifted the lid. Inside was a young boy, no older than 7, bound and gagged, his eyes wide with terror. Mary's heart surged with a mix of rage and fierce protectiveness. She quickly knelt down, untying the boy's restraints with trembling hands, murmuring words of comfort as he clung to her, his small body shaking with fear. "It's okay. We're here to help you," Mary whispered, her voice thick with emotion as she held the boy close. Alice looked around the room, her expression grim. "We need to get him out of here now, and then we go straight to the police. This has to stop." Mary nodded, her eyes blazing with determination. "You're right. Let's get him to safety first." As they carefully made their way back through the mansion, the weight of what they had uncovered pressed heavily on Mary's shoulders. But amidst the fear, there was a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that the road ahead would be fraught with danger, but the need to protect the innocent and seek justice fueled her every step. With Alice by her side and the young boy in her arms, Mary knew that they were embarking on a mission far greater than themselves. They were stepping into a battle against the darkness that lurked within these walls, a fight they couldn't afford to lose. As they reached the side entrance once more, Mary whispered to herself, "We will see this through, no matter the cost." The journey ahead was uncertain, and the dangers were real, but Mary knew one thing for certain: they would not stop until justice was served. Together they would fight to bring the truth to light, to protect the innocent, and to ensure that those responsible for these horrors would be held accountable. And as they disappeared into the night, Mary couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope, a small but fierce flame that refused to be extinguished, no matter how dark the path ahead might be. Mary followed Alice through the service door, her senses on high alert as she tried to memorize every twist and turn they took. The mansion's interior was even more extravagant than she had imagined, with polished marble floors that gleamed under the light of crystal chandeliers and ornate furnishings that seemed to belong to another era, another world entirely, far removed from the harshness of her own life. "Here's the supply closet," Alice said quietly, opening a door to reveal shelves stacked with cleaning supplies. "Grab what you need and start with the east wing. It's usually quiet over there." "Thank you," Mary replied, her voice steady as she took a mop and bucket from the closet. "I really appreciate this." Alice gave a brief, tense nod before turning back to her duties, leaving Mary alone. As soon as Alice was out of sight, Mary let out a slow breath, relief washing over her. She was in. Now came the hard part: finding the evidence she needed without drawing attention to herself. Mary made her way toward the east wing, her eyes taking in every detail of the mansion's vast and labyrinthine interior. The corridors seemed endless, each one leading to more rooms, more secrets hidden behind closed doors. She moved with deliberate care, keeping her head down, but her ears were attuned to every sound, every whisper of movement around her. She needed to remain invisible, just another part of the mansion's machinery, while she searched for anything that could confirm her suspicions. As she turned a corner, the atmosphere around her seemed to shift. The corridor she entered was dimly lit, the air heavier, as if weighed down by the secrets it held. At the far end of the hall, a door caught her eye. It was different from the others, sturdier, more secure, with a faint aura of something ominous surrounding it. A sense of unease gripped her, but her curiosity overpowered her fear. She knew she had to investigate. With cautious steps, Mary approached the door, her heart beating faster with each one. She noticed it was slightly ajar, a sliver of darkness visible through the gap. She hesitated for just a moment, gathering her courage, before gently pushing the door open and slipping inside. The room beyond was small, almost claustrophobic, and sparsely furnished a stark contrast to the grandeur she had seen elsewhere in the mansion. But what truly captured her attention was the figure huddled in the corner, a young girl, no more than 8 or 9 years old, her wide eyes filled with fear and desperation. "Oh my God," Mary whispered, her heart clenching at the sight. She could hardly believe what she was seeing. "Are you all right?" The girl didn't answer. She remained curled up, her gaze locked onto Mary's face with a look that was both hopeful and terrified, as if she couldn't decide whether Mary was her salvation or another threat. Mary's heart broke at the sight. She knelt down beside the girl, her voice soft and soothing as she tried to offer comfort. "It's okay," Mary whispered, reaching out slowly so as not to frighten her further. "I'm here to help you. No one's going to hurt you anymore, I promise." The girl flinched at the touch, but she didn't pull away, her small body trembling with fear. Mary continued to speak gently, trying to convey warmth and safety with her words and actions. She could see the girl was terrified, but there was also a flicker of trust beginning to form in her eyes, a faint glimmer of hope that had been nearly extinguished. "Can you tell me your name?" Mary asked softly, trying to establish some connection. The girl hesitated, her voice barely a whisper, as she finally responded, "Lily." Mary's heart ached at the fragility in the girl's voice. "Lily, that's a beautiful name. I'm Mary. I'm going to get you out of here, okay? But I need you to be very brave. Can you do that for me?" Lily nodded slightly, the movement barely perceptible, but it was enough to give Mary a spark of hope. She gently took Lily's hand, helping her to her feet. The girl was weak, her legs unsteady from fear, and who knew how long she had been trapped in this room. But there was a determination in her eyes that mirrored Mary's own resolve. "Stay close to me," Mary said, her voice firm but kind. "We're going to get out of here together." With Lily at her side, Mary carefully led her out of the room, her heart pounding with the urgency of their escape. Every step they took was a step closer to freedom, but also a step deeper into the danger that lurked within the mansion's walls. She knew they had to move quickly, but also quietly. Any misstep could cost them everything. As they navigated the darkened halls, Mary couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that at any moment someone could discover them. But she pushed the fear aside, focusing on the task at hand. She had come this far, and she wasn't about to fail now. They needed to find Alice. Mary hoped that with her help, they could get Lily out safely and expose the horrors that were hiding in this gilded prison. The fear still gnawed at her, but it was no longer just fear for herself. It was fear for Lily and the other children who might be suffering in this terrible place. Mary knew they had to act quickly, but more than that, they had to be smart. The fight for justice had only just begun, and she was ready to see it through to the end. "It's okay. I'm here to help you," she said gently. "What's your name?" "Emily," the girl whispered, her voice trembling. "Emily, we need to get you out of here," Mary said, determination hardening her resolve. "But first, I need to know if there are others. Are there more children here?" Emily nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Yes, in the basement." Mary's heart sank. She knew she had to act quickly. "Okay, I'm going to get help. I promise I'll come back for you," she stood up, taking note of the room's location and the security measures around it. There were cameras and a keypad lock on the door, details she would need to remember. As she made her way back through the mansion, her mind raced with plans. She needed to gather more evidence and come up with a solid strategy to rescue the children. But for now, she had to get out and regroup. Slipping out the same way she came in, Mary breathed a sigh of relief as she stepped into the cool night air. The mansion loomed behind her, a place of opulence hiding dark secrets. She had confirmed her worst fears, but she was more determined than ever. She would return. and she would bring justice with her. Mary returned to the mansion the next night, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. She slipped through the service door, blending into the shadows as she made her way to the hidden room where she had found Emily. As she approached, she heard voices. She pressed herself against the wall, straining to listen. Inside, two men were talking in hushed tones. Mary could only catch snippets of their conversation, but it was enough to send chills down her spine. They were discussing the merchandise and the need to move them soon. She had to act fast. Once the men left, Mary crept into the room, finding Emily still there, her eyes lighting up with hope at the sight of Mary. "We're getting you out now," Mary whispered, helping her to her feet. "Can you walk?" Emily nodded, gripping Mary's hand tightly. Mary led her through the dark corridors, carefully avoiding the security cameras she had noted earlier. They reached the basement entrance, and Mary paused, her heart racing. She had to be quick and silent. They descended into the basement, the air growing colder and more oppressive. The basement was a labyrinth of rooms, some locked, others filled with discarded toys and clothes. Mary's heart pounded as she approached a door with faint sounds of whimpering behind it. She tried the handle locked. Frantically, she searched for a way to open it. The small screwdriver she had brought earlier proved useful as she jimmied the lock. The door creaked open, revealing a group of frightened children huddled together. Mary's eyes filled with tears at the sight, but she steeled herself. "Quietly, come with me," she whispered. "We're leaving this place." The children, ranging in age from toddlers to pre-teens, followed her, their expressions a mixture of fear and hope. Mary led them back through the basement and up the stairs, every creak of the floorboards making her heart skip a beat. They reached the side entrance without incident, and Mary hurried them through. Once outside, Mary's relief was palpable. She instructed the children to wait quietly by the gate while she fetched help. She knew she couldn't do this alone. She ran to the nearest police station, breathless and desperate. "There are children trapped in a mansion," she gasped. "You have to come quickly." The officers sprang into action, and within minutes, they were on their way to the mansion. Mary led them back, her heart pounding with both fear and hope. She prayed they weren't too late. As the police stormed the mansion, Mary stayed outside with the children, holding Emily close. The sounds of shouting and scuffling echoed through the night, and then, finally, silence. An officer emerged, nodding to Mary. "It's over," he said. "We've got them all." Have you ever wondered why some people seem to live longer, healthier lives despite not following conventional fitness routines? In today's video, we're diving deep into the secrets of Japanese longevity, where diet, lifestyle habits, and even mindset play a crucial role in extending life expectancy. You'll discover how simple changes, like eating a varied diet, avoiding stress, and understanding the power of moderation, can dramatically improve your well-being. Stay with us until the end, as we'll reveal life-altering tips that could add years to your life and help you live a healthier, happier existence. If you haven't yet subscribed, I highly recommend doing so and activating the notification bell to ensure you never miss a video. Your support means a lot to me as we continue to grow our community and reach more people with our content. If you enjoy the topic of this video, please leave a comment with the number 1. If it's not quite your cup of tea, drop a 0 in the comments. Your feedback is crucial in helping me create content that better serves you. Let's get started. For those who regularly engage in health and wellness discussions, it's a well-accepted fact that consistent physical activity is crucial for maintaining a long and healthy life. Yet, a report from the World Health Organization turned this belief on its head, revealing that Japan, despite being one of the least physically active nations, leads the world in life expectancy. This paradox has baffled many, challenging the conventional wisdom upheld by health experts. Delving deeper into this mystery, research has uncovered that while the Japanese may not be avid exercisers, their approach to diet is remarkably scientific. It is this dietary structure and the habits surrounding it that have enabled many of Japan's elderly to lead long and fulfilling lives. Take, for example, Shono Asawa, a woman who lived to the remarkable age of 117 before passing away recently. Her story is a testament to the secrets behind Japanese longevity, which go beyond mere physical activity and touch on deeper, more nuanced aspects of life. These secrets, embedded in cultural practices and daily routines, provide invaluable insights into why so many Japanese elders continue to thrive well into their golden years. 1. Diverse nutrition in daily living. Among the elderly in rural regions, the daily diet often lacks variety, leading to potential nutritional imbalances. Recognizing this early on, the Japanese developed comprehensive dietary guidelines that emphasize the importance of diversity on the plate. These guidelines suggest consuming over 30 different types of food each day, a practice that Japanese scientists believe is crucial for longevity. Those who follow these recommendations tend to live longer, as this approach ensures a well-rounded intake of nutrients and a full spectrum of vitamins, helping to ward off various diseases. However, achieving such dietary diversity daily is no small feat, and maintaining it over time can be even more challenging. Beyond their varied dishes, the Japanese also enjoy a broad range of staple foods, likely a necessity due to the uneven distribution of arable land. In addition to staples like noodles and rice, legumes and tubers also feature prominently in their diets. Despite preparing only a few ingredients per meal, the Japanese ensure they receive adequate nutrition, with seafood playing a significant role, thanks to their maritime geography. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Interestingly, while Japanese dietary guidelines advocate for the daily consumption of 12 or more types of food, many middle-aged and elderly individuals elsewhere have much less variety in their diets. Their consumption of vegetables is often minimal, and meat intake is limited, which can lead to unmet physiological needs and a higher risk of developing various health conditions. In contrast, while the Japanese diet heavily favors fish and seafood, providing a diverse range of options, Western diets typically include a broader selection of meats like pork, beef, and lamb, which are rich in saturated fats. Excessive consumption of these meats can pose health risks, particularly as living standards improve, yet healthy eating practices may lag, leading to a rise in conditions like hypertension and hyperlipidemia. In essence, there is much to be learned from Japanese dietary principles, particularly when it comes to enriching one's diet with a wide array of foods. By incorporating such practices, one can create a more balanced and health-conscious approach to eating, which is essential for long-term well-being. 2. Mindful eating: the lifelong benefits of chewing thoroughly and eating slowly. In Japan, a country renowned for its deep respect for tradition and the natural world, the practice of mindful eating has become an integral part of daily life. This approach, characterized by chewing food thoroughly and savoring each bite slowly, has roots in the country's challenging geography. Japan's mountainous terrain and limited natural resources have historically influenced its people to make the most of what they have. This scarcity fostered a culture where food is not just consumed but is respected and appreciated in every bite. The act of chewing food thoroughly may seem like a simple habit, but it carries significant health benefits, particularly as we age. When food is chewed into tiny, easily digestible particles, it not only becomes more palatable but also significantly reduces the workload on the digestive system. The more finely food is broken down, the more efficiently it can pass through the digestive tract without causing irritation or discomfort. This thorough breakdown of food aids in the absorption of nutrients, ensuring that the body gets the maximum benefit from every meal. In contrast, hurried eating, where food is swallowed in larger chunks, can lead to a range of digestive issues, from indigestion to more serious gastrointestinal conditions. As people grow older, their bodies naturally change, one of which is a decline in digestive efficiency. The digestive system, which once worked effortlessly, can begin to struggle with the demands of processing food. This is where the habit of eating slowly and chewing thoroughly becomes even more critical. By taking the time to chew food well, older adults can help alleviate the burden on their digestive systems, making it easier for their bodies to absorb the nutrients they need. This simple yet powerful habit can prevent a host of digestive ailments that are often associated with aging, such as acid reflux, bloating, and constipation. Moreover, the practice of chewing thoroughly and eating slowly does more than just support digestion. It also plays a crucial role in appetite regulation and overall health. When food is chewed thoroughly, the increased chewing action stimulates the production of saliva, which not only aids in the digestive process but also sends important signals to the brain. These signals trigger the release of hormones that promote a feeling of fullness and satisfaction, which helps prevent overeating. In a world where portion sizes are often oversized and meals are consumed on the go, this natural appetite control mechanism is more valuable than ever. Eating slowly and mindfully allows individuals to become more attuned to their body's hunger and satiety signals. Instead of eating until they are uncomfortably full, they learn to recognize when they have eaten enough to satisfy their hunger, leading to healthier eating patterns and better weight management. This mindful approach to eating also fosters a deeper connection with food, encouraging individuals to savor each bite, appreciate the flavors and textures, and ultimately derive more pleasure from their meals. In Japan, where longevity is celebrated and the elderly are revered, the practice of eating slowly and mindfully is seen as one of the many secrets to a long, healthy life. It's not just about prolonging life, but about enhancing the quality of life, ensuring that each meal is a source of nourishment and joy, rather than a cause of stress or discomfort. 3. Steaming and boiling, a healthier approach to cooking in Japanese cuisine. Japanese cuisine, renowned worldwide for its simplicity and elegance, is not just about well-known dishes like sashimi but extends to a wide variety of foods, including oysters, scallops, and other seafood delicacies. The Japanese culinary philosophy emphasizes preserving the natural flavors of ingredients, often serving them raw, such as with sashimi, which is a method said to have originated in Japan. This practice not only maintains the purity of taste, but also minimizes the formation of harmful substances that can arise from more aggressive cooking methods, thus significantly reducing potential harm to the body. Beyond the art of raw consumption, the Japanese have perfected the methods of steaming and boiling, particularly when it comes to preparing seafood. These cooking techniques are favored for their ability to retain the nutritional value of the ingredients while reducing the intake of fats and salts. Steaming and boiling allows the natural flavors and nutrients to shine through, making the food not only delicious but also highly beneficial for health. The focus on these gentle cooking methods contrasts sharply with Western culinary traditions, where frying and grilling dominate. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. In Western cooking, frying and grilling are popular methods, often chosen for their ability to add rich flavors and appealing textures to food. However, these methods involve high temperatures, typically around 200 dC, which can severely damage the nutritional content of the food. The intense heat causes the denaturation of vital nutrients, making them less absorbable by the body. Furthermore, frying and grilling at such high temperatures often lead to the formation of harmful compounds, such as advanced glycation end products AGEs and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons PAHs, which are linked to various health issues, including inflammation and an increased risk of chronic diseases. Japanese cuisine, while not entirely devoid of fried foods, approaches them with a careful and measured attitude. For example, tempura, a popular fried dish, is prepared with techniques that aim to minimize its negative health impacts. After frying, the excess oil is meticulously blotted off with special paper, reducing the overall fat content and making the dish lighter and less greasy. This mindful approach to frying helps prevent the excessive intake of unhealthy fats, thereby reducing the risk of conditions such as hypolipidemia and cardiovascular diseases. The Japanese emphasis on steaming and boiling, combined with their sparing use of frying and grilling, reflects a broader commitment to health-conscious eating. By prioritizing cooking methods that preserve nutritional integrity and minimize harmful substances, the Japanese diet supports long-term health and well-being. This culinary approach, rooted in centuries of tradition, has undoubtedly contributed to the nation's remarkable longevity and low rates of lifestyle-related diseases. In contrast, the Western preference for high-temperature cooking methods, while flavorful, often comes at the expense of nutrition and health. As living standards improve globally, there is a growing awareness of the need to adopt healthier cooking practices. By learning from the Japanese approach to food preparation focusing on steaming, boiling, and careful consumption of fried foods, people around the world can enhance their diets and protect their health. In the pursuit of understanding what contributes to the remarkable longevity of the Japanese people, many health experts have pointed to the humble yet potent green tea as a significant factor. Green tea, a staple in Japanese culture, is often enjoyed after every meal, not just as a refreshing beverage but as a powerful tool in promoting health and longevity. The benefits of green tea are extensive. It aids digestion, helps inhibit the absorption of cholesterol, and possesses strong antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. These qualities work together to reduce the risk of cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases, while also slowing down the aging process. The Japanese approach to health is unique in that it doesn't heavily rely on rigorous physical exercise, as seen in many other cultures. Instead, the Japanese place a strong emphasis on dietary control and mindful eating habits. This disciplined approach to diet, combined with the regular consumption of green tea, plays a pivotal role in their ability to live long, healthy lives. In a world where physical exercise is often touted as the cornerstone of good health, it is fascinating to see how the Japanese, with their focus on diet, have achieved such extraordinary longevity. But the secret to their long lives extends beyond just their dietary habits. Japan also leads the world in various other aspects that contribute to a long and healthy life. The country is known for its advanced medical standards, ensuring that healthcare is both accessible and of high quality. Societal development plays a role as well, with a strong social safety net and a culture that values the well-being of its elderly population. Environmental safety is another crucial factor, as Japan's commitment to maintaining clean and safe surroundings contributes to overall public health. Moreover, genetic factors and living conditions, including the design of homes and communities that promote active aging, are also key contributors to the impressive life expectancy in Japan. There's a popular saying that encapsulates this holistic approach to longevity: everyone's lifespan isn't predetermined at birth but earned through incremental efforts. This idea rings particularly true when examining the lifestyle of long-lived individuals. These people are not just surviving, they are thriving, largely due to their commitment to maintaining good habits throughout their lives. They may not always be hitting the gym or running marathons, but they excel in self-care, making small but consistent efforts to manage their health in every situation. These habits, such as eating mindfully, drinking green tea, and practicing good self-care, often prove to be even more beneficial than exercise and hydration alone. They represent a more holistic approach to health, one that emphasizes balance, moderation, and mindfulness. This approach, deeply rooted in Japanese culture, offers valuable insights that can be explored and adopted by people everywhere, regardless of their age or lifestyle. In essence, the Japanese way of life teaches us that longevity is not just about genetics or luck. It is about the daily choices we make, the habits we cultivate, and the way we care for our bodies and minds. By embracing the principles of mindful eating, regular consumption of green tea, and maintaining a balanced lifestyle, we too can aspire to lead long, healthy, and fulfilling lives. This holistic approach to health and longevity is a testament to the wisdom of Japanese culture, offering a blueprint for a life well lived. 4. The power of calm, the secret to longevity through emotional balance. There's an age-old saying that rings with timeless truth: great anger harms the body. This simple yet profound wisdom reminds us that a bad temper is one of the most detrimental forces to our health. One of the most effective ways to preserve health and promote longevity is to cultivate a calm and composed demeanor, steering clear of anger whenever possible. Let me share the story of an elderly lady I know, now in her 80s, who exemplifies this approach to life. Despite the many challenges and adversity she has faced, she is always cheerful and radiates positivity. Whether she encounters someone saying something hurtful or finds herself in an embarrassing situation, she never loses her temper. Instead, she handles everything with grace and a steady hand, calmly resolving any issues that come her way. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Her life is filled with joy as she spends her free time making TikTok videos with her daughter or participating in square dancing with her neighbors. It's no wonder that, with such a positive mindset, she has never suffered any major illnesses throughout her lifetime. This elderly woman's life is a testament to the power of maintaining emotional balance. She embodies the belief that no matter what difficulties life throws at us, it's how we respond that truly matters. We all face challenges, stress, and moments of frustration, but the truly wise understand that losing one's temper only exacerbates these problems. They recognize that many physical ailments stem not from external causes but from the emotional battles we lose within ourselves. Stress, anger, and negative emotions can wreak havoc on the body, leading to various health issues, both minor and severe. The secret to her long and healthy life lies in her ability to remain emotionally stable, regardless of the circumstances. By not allowing anger to take root in her heart, she avoids the physical toll that stress and negative emotions can inflict. This emotional resilience is one of the biggest secrets to longevity, as it helps maintain not just a healthy body, but also a peaceful and contented mind. In essence, a calm heart truly does ensure longevity. By cultivating patience, understanding, and a positive outlook, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of anger and stress. This doesn't mean suppressing our emotions, but rather learning to manage them in a way that promotes inner peace. It's about realizing that life's challenges are temporary and that our response to them can either harm or heal us. For those seeking a long and healthy life, it's essential to focus not only on physical health, but also on emotional well-being. By following the example of wise individuals like this elderly lady, we can learn to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and composure, ensuring that our hearts remain calm and our bodies strong. After all, true longevity is not just about living longer, but about living better, with a heart full of peace and a spirit unburdened by anger. 5. Balancing life, the importance of not overworking and letting go of worries. In the wisdom of traditional Chinese medicine, there is a saying that resonates deeply: anger injures the liver, worry injures the lungs, and overthinking injures the spleen. This ancient knowledge highlights how our emotions directly impact our physical health. While anger is often recognized as a harmful emotion, the effects of excessive worry and overthinking are just as profound, quietly taking their toll on our bodies and minds. Consider the story of my friend, Xia Fong. When she first began her career, she was overwhelmed with anxiety about her relationships with colleagues and the pressure to meet the expectations of her superiors. Despite her busyness and outward productivity, she was never truly at peace. Her mind was constantly racing, filled with worries about whether she was doing enough or fitting in. This constant state of stress took a heavy toll on her well-being. In just 3 short months, Shia lost a significant amount of weight, and her hair began to fall out, physical manifestations of the emotional turmoil she was enduring. Recognizing that something had to change, Shia sought help from a psychologist who taught her the importance of letting go. Slowly, she learned to release her worries, to stop obsessing over things beyond her control, and to find a sense of inner calm. It was only then that she began to regain her health and composure. Her story is a powerful reminder that our minds and bodies are deeply connected, and that excessive worry can be as damaging as any physical ailment. Life is filled with challenges and uncertainties, emotional setbacks that can strike suddenly and without warning. We often try to control everything around us, believing that if we just work harder, think more, or worry enough, we can prevent bad things from happening. But the truth is, many things in this world are beyond our control. If we want to live long, healthy lives, we must learn to let go of the unnecessary burdens we place on ourselves. We must cultivate an open mind, allowing us to release the worries that weigh us down. The metaphorical sky may feel like it's collapsing at times, but no one person can hold it up alone. Instead, we should focus on what we can control ourselves. By doing our best and letting go when necessary, we can find a sense of peace that is far more valuable than any fleeting achievement. When we learn to worry less and act more, we often discover that the world is not as daunting as we once imagined. It can be full of unexpected joys and opportunities, waiting to be embraced by a mind that is free from the shackles of constant worry. In the end, living a long and fulfilling life is not just about managing our physical health, but also about nurturing our emotional well-being. By avoiding excessive work and unnecessary worry, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of stress and anxiety. It's about finding balance, knowing when to push forward and when to step back, when to care deeply and when to let go. This balanced approach to life not only enhances our well-being, but also allows us to experience life more fully, with a heart that is light and a mind that is at peace. Solitude also teaches resilience. Without the constant input and opinions of others, you learn to trust your judgment and decisions. You become more self-reliant and confident. This strength is not just emotional but also intellectual as you develop your thoughts independently. Modern life is filled with noise and distractions. Social interactions, while valuable, can be draining. Solitude provides a sanctuary for your mind, a space where you can relax and rejuvenate. It's a time to process your thoughts, dreams, and plans without external pressures. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Solitude can also strengthen relationships, particularly marriages. Giving each other space allows for personal growth and independence within the relationship. It prevents the relationship from becoming suffocating and keeps the connection fresh and exciting. Society often pressures us to be constantly social, equating solitude with loneliness. However, meaningful connections are not about quantity but quality. It's better to have a few deep, authentic relationships than many superficial ones. Solitude helps you appreciate and nurture these true connections. 6. Mindful eating: the importance of a balanced diet for health and well-being. There's an ancient wisdom that resonates through time. Illnesses enter from the mouth, a saying that underscores how many diseases stem from poor dietary choices. In a world filled with convenience foods and indulgent treats, it's easy to fall into the habit of eating recklessly. However, the path to a long and healthy life begins with mindful eating, making conscious choices about what we put into our bodies. When I first met Shia, how he was struggling with the consequences of his eating habits. He carried extra weight, felt constantly fatigued, and would become breathless after just a short walk. His diet was dominated by junk food, greasy street vendor snacks, bags of potato chips, and spicy sticks that offered instant gratification but left his body craving real nourishment. One day, after indulging in an exceptionally spicy hot pot, Shia found himself running to the restroom repeatedly, only to be diagnosed with acute gastroenteritis. The experience was a wake-up call as reckless eating had landed him in the hospital, and he realized something had to change. After this painful lesson, Shia decided to overhaul his diet and lifestyle. He began to exercise regularly and paid careful attention to what he ate. The transformation was remarkable. Not only did he shed the excess weight, but he also regained his energy and zest for life. Shia's story is a powerful reminder that our bodies reflect the quality of the food we consume. The saying, "Man is made of iron, but food is made of steel," highlights the undeniable truth that what we eat directly impacts our ability to think clearly, love fully, rest deeply, and live well. Eating well is not just about fueling the body, it's about nurturing the whole self. It's a practice that requires responsibility and care, not just for our lives, but for our well-being. Choosing ingredients thoughtfully, learning the art of cooking with attention and love, and eating in moderation and at the right times can do more than just satisfy hunger. They can nourish the body and soul. A balanced diet doesn't just fill the stomach, it also nurtures the heart, fostering a sense of well-being that permeates every aspect of life. In a world where fast food is often the easy choice, taking the time to eat well is an act of self-respect. It's about being mindful of what enters your body and understanding that each meal is an opportunity to strengthen and heal. When you eat with intention, you're not just feeding your body, you're also feeding your spirit, laying the foundation for a life that is vibrant and full of energy. Ultimately, mindful eating is a practice of self-love. By being deliberate about your food choices, you show that you value your health and your life. It's about more than just avoiding junk food, it's about making choices that support your well-being every single day. So take the time to choose your ingredients wisely, savor the process of cooking, and enjoy your meals with gratitude and mindfulness. In doing so, you'll find that you're not only caring for your body but also cultivating a deeper connection to yourself, ensuring that you live a life that is healthy, fulfilling, and full of joy. 7. The silent dangers of prolonged sitting. Why movement is essential for longevity. In a world increasingly dominated by desk jobs and sedentary lifestyles, the dangers of prolonged sitting are becoming alarmingly apparent. Recently, the World Health Organization updated its data, revealing a staggering 263% increase in the risk of death for those who sit for long periods compared to those who remain active. The harm caused by sitting too long is often insidious, quietly wreaking havoc on our bodies without us even realizing it. Many people are unaware of the myriad of health issues that can arise from simply sitting too much. One particularly haunting story that highlights the dangers of prolonged sitting involves a young female journalist who was once healthy and full of energy. Her life took a tragic turn when she sprained her foot, a seemingly minor injury. Unable to move around much, she spent extended periods sitting still. What began as a small inconvenience soon escalated into something far more serious. Just days after her injury, she fell into a coma and never regained consciousness. The doctors eventually determined that she had succumbed to a pulmonary embolism, a life-threatening condition directly linked to her immobility. The tragedy of her story underscores how sitting for too long can have fatal consequences. However, pulmonary embolism is not the only risk associated with prolonged sitting. Other conditions such as hemorrhoids, constipation, cervical spondylosis, coronary heart disease, and varicose veins are all closely linked to a sedentary lifestyle. The damage caused by sitting too much extends to every cell in our body, affecting our circulation, digestion, musculoskeletal system, and even our cardiovascular health. The effects are cumulative and often go unnoticed until it's too late. The reality is that our bodies are designed for movement. When we sit for extended periods, our blood flow slows down, muscles become inactive, and our metabolism decreases. Over time, this lack of movement can lead to a host of health problems, many of which are preventable simply by standing up and moving around regularly. The act of sitting for long hours is not just physically harmful but can also contribute to mental fatigue and a general decline in well-being. If you aspire to live a long and healthy life, it's crucial to break the habit of sitting for too long. Make it a priority to incorporate movement into your daily routine. Whether it's taking short walks, stretching, or simply standing up to change your posture, these small actions can make a significant difference in your overall health. Set reminders to get up every hour or invest in a standing desk to reduce the time you spend sitting. The key to longevity is not just in the grand gestures but in the everyday decisions we make about our health. By making a conscious effort to move more and sit less, you can protect yourself from the silent dangers of a sedentary lifestyle. Remember, life is about movement both physically and metaphorically. So keep your body active, your blood flowing, and your health thriving by refusing to let prolonged sitting take a toll on your life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 5 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 8. The perils of overworking, finding balance for a healthier, longer life. In today's fast-paced world, many of us find ourselves caught in an endless cycle of work, constantly busy, like spinning tops that never seem to slow down. Terms like 996 working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, and 007. Working around the clock, 7 days a week have become common, as if filling every moment with activity is the only way to prove our worth. But this relentless pursuit of productivity comes at a steep price: overwork, and in extreme cases, death from overwork. Tragically, many people never get the chance to enjoy the fruits of their labor, as they bury themselves in the struggle, pushing their bodies and minds to the brink. Take the story of Niaz and Tin, who once shared an experience that starkly illustrates the dangers of overworking. Niaz was responsible for an IPO project, coupled with a demanding fixed tax audit. In her drive to meet the relentless demands of her job, she pushed herself beyond her limits, essentially splitting herself in two to accomplish 2 days' worth of work in a single day. Her schedule was grueling, leaving the office at 3 a.m., sleeping by 4 a.m., and checking emails by 9 a.m. This punishing routine left her body exhausted and her spirit drained. One day, the inevitable happened: her body could no longer bear the burden, and she collapsed in an elevator shaft. When Niaz finally regained consciousness, she was forced to confront the reality of her situation. This near-tragic event led her to deeply reflect on the true meaning of work and the importance of taking appropriate breaks. She realized that pushing herself too hard was not only unsustainable but also counterproductive, driving her toward a dead end rather than toward success. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that humans are not machines. We are not designed to keep spinning endlessly without rest. In modern society, where the pressure to perform and succeed is ever present, it's easy to forget that our bodies and minds have limits. Overworking doesn't just affect our physical health, it can also lead to mental burnout, strained relationships, and a diminished quality of life. The notion that taking a break is a sign of weakness or wasted time is a dangerous misconception. In reality, regular breaks and a balanced approach to work are essential for long-term progress and well-being. Learning not to overwork is a vital lesson for anyone seeking to live a long, healthy life. It involves recognizing the importance of rest, relaxation, and self-care as integral parts of our daily routine. Allowing ourselves the time to unwind and recharge is not just a luxury, it is a necessity for sustaining our energy, creativity, and overall health. Indeed, the road to success and fulfillment is not a sprint but a marathon. To go further and live better, we must pace ourselves, ensuring that we don't burn out along the way. By embracing the idea that progress can only be made when we allow our bodies and minds to rest, we can create a healthier, more balanced approach to work and life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 6 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 9. The wisdom of moderation, balancing desires for a healthier life. In the ancient text, the Book of Rites, there is a profound saying: desires should not be indulged, ambition should not be satisfied, and wickedness should not be pursued. This timeless wisdom serves as a warning against the dangers of excess, whether it be overworking ourselves relentlessly or indulging in base pleasures without restraint. The message is clear: if we push ourselves too hard or succumb to our baser instincts, we will eventually be dragged down, both physically and mentally. A poignant example of this comes from a recent story about a young girl who lost her sight permanently. The cause of her blindness was not a tragic accident or an unavoidable illness, but rather her habitual immersion in low-level pleasures. She spent hours upon hours browsing social media and watching TikTok videos, even when her eyes were strained and tired. Despite the warning signs, she couldn't break free from this cycle of indulgence. One night, she suddenly found herself unable to see. It was only then, when the damage was done, that she deeply regretted her actions. This story highlights a critical truth: truly healthy individuals understand the importance of moderation. They recognize that indulgence, whether in work or pleasure, can be as harmful as neglect. They don't allow themselves to be consumed by fleeting dopamine hits or let their emotions and desires override their rationality. Instead, they continuously adjust their behaviors according to their physical and psychological conditions, maintaining balance and harmony in their lives. It is this ability to moderate their actions that keeps their bodily functions at their best and prevents them from falling into the traps of excess. In *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*, author Yuval Noah Harari makes a striking observation: choosing a lifestyle is choosing a way to die. This statement underscores the profound impact our daily choices have on our overall well-being and longevity. If we wish to live long, healthy lives and avoid the suffering that comes with illness, we must choose our lifestyles wisely. It's essential to resist the urge to let emotions, desires, or inertia dominate our decisions. Instead, we should strive to live in a way that nourishes both our bodies and minds, eating well, sleeping well, finding balance in all things, and cultivating inner peace. By embracing moderation and rejecting the extremes of overwork and excessive indulgence, we can create a life that is not only healthy but also filled with unexpected joys and positive surprises. When we take care of ourselves in this way, our bodies respond in kind, often leading to remarkable improvements in our physical and mental health. Life, in turn, becomes more vibrant, more fulfilling, and more rewarding. As we wrap up, it's time to reflect on the powerful lessons we've explored together. What have you learned so far? Take a moment to think about one thing that truly resonated with you, something that you will bring into practice in your own life. We would love to hear your thoughts, so please share in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you meaningful content that inspires and uplifts. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.